Okay, so here you are with a spreadsheet in Google Sheets where approximately you should have something that looks essentially like what we've got right here. I know that it might look a little bit different since I'm hoping that you are going to have something like this. Basically, we've created two formulas. One in this column right here, where if you look at it, we've got formulas that are dividing this column C by this column B, C4 divided by B4. If you click into another one here, you can see that these are all the same. And you can check your formulas if you click into one of these cells and then just really quickly in the dead center of the cell, double click it, and you will actually see the formula that is in them. Additionally, you guys have added summing functions to these three cells down here. If you double click this one, it would be adding up everything there. If you double click this one, adding everything up above it, doing that one, doing it as such, okay? Additionally, you've got this right here, which you merged one, two, three, four, pardon me, four cells right here, okay? And you made it all into one. You can always undo this, and I'd like to have everybody at least do this real quickly. You can always undo it by highlighting the merged cell and then clicking the merged cell again, and then all of a sudden you've got something that looks like this, okay? But then going back to it, if I redo that, I will click it again, okay? And then we've got where we were at now. Now, I would like to see us get all of these cells across the top. I would like to now merge Picker Productivity Sheet all across the entire top. Okay, and I'm going to click Merge Cells, and lo and behold, there it is. Okay, dead center. By clicking this, it is not only merging the cells, but it will automatically center any text that you have in the far left cell in the dead center. But if I had this, ERIC, in this column and SKEEN, oops, gave myself an extra E in there, okay? If I wanted to merge these two cells right here and then I clicked this, whoa, heads up, merging cells will only preserve the top leftmost value, merge anyway. I can hit cancel and undo that, or I can hit OK and then look what happens. Okay, it merged the cells, but it only kept the contents that were in this one. So you just want to be careful of what goes on when you are merging cells. So here we are. Okay. So we've at this point merged this cell all the way across this one right here. Now there is another thing that I would like to have you do with our columns E and our columns F. Okay, I want you to go down here, and I would actually like you to, at this point, take this formula right here, okay, or take this cell right here, and I would like to be able to get this formula that is up here down here. Now, if I drag it down just a little bit further, okay, I can go to right there and there. Okay, so it still is that. Okay, so I'm going to get that one, and I am going to put a border around that one. Additionally, I'm going to do that to this column as well. Okay, and I'm going to put a border around both of these two things. Again, I'm going to click on border, and I'm going to put something that's all the way around those right there. So at this point, I've got all of these right here that are giving me some numbers. If I take a look at this, it can tell me I have used 83 hours that I'm going to have to pay for, okay? More or less 84 hours. All of my pickers, they visited this number of locations. All of my pickers picked that number of units. And overall, okay, and actually, why don't I do this? I'm going to type in the word shift, okay? Because that's what all of these numbers are right here. This is the shift productivity, okay? I've used 84 hours. I've picked that many locations. I've picked that many units. This right here is our overall hours per location. Okay. This right here is our overall units per hour. Okay. So it gives you a pretty decent understanding of what you've done. Okay. These two numbers right here define what's going on with the shift. And if you want to dig down any further, you can actually see the individual productivity of some of these individuals just to make sure that everybody is pulling their fair weight. I mean, if I took a look at this, if the average for the shift is 62, I might say, look at this. Rex is all the way here at 52. Okay. Why is Rex visiting so many fewer locations than, say, some of these other people? Okay. It would just be a question that you as a supervisor would want to ask yourself. Okay. You might also say, "Oh my gosh, look at Eugene here. Holy smokes, he's visiting 75 locations an hour. What's going on with Eugene? He's doing a heck of a job. In fact, he's doing 23 locations an hour more than Rex. Maybe it's explained by Rex is a newer person. Eugene has been here for quite a while, is very familiar with everything, knows lots of everything, all the tricks of the trade on how to be very efficient. Additionally, you can take a look at the units per hour in this column right over here, and you are able to see that the overall shift average is 109. Okay, you see some people that are hitting way above that, but then you've got other individuals that are quite a bit lower. I mean, in fact, you've got Ellie here who is only averaging something like 65 units per hour. Okay, and the one thing that I want you to remember, when I did hand out picking, I guess, orders to individuals where you guys would actually go to the locations, I mean, you didn't have any control over what I was handing out to any of you. You may get a quote unquote good order where you don't have to travel a whole bunch and you get to pick lots of units, or you may have ones that you had very few locations to travel to, but could do a lot. I mean, there's lots of things that can impact these numbers. And anytime you just look at what's going on for one day, it's maybe not the best way. I mean, do you immediately go out and start yelling at Rex over one day's performance? I would suggest no. Okay, there might be things going on. Maybe Rex is walking around with a sprained ankle and he can't be mobile. I mean, there's all sorts of things and things that you as a supervisor should know about your people. Okay, are they new? Is there some impacting factor? Maybe you had Rex doing some other things other than just picking. Maybe you had him helping somebody in shipping part of this time. Okay, so you need to know what your people are doing and what might be impacting them. And that's what a good supervisor is always able to do. So, one of the things that we're going to do, I'm going to get rid of my name here. That was just a little example. But one of the things that I'm going to have you take a look at here, I've attached on the assignment, is something that is from another Google Sheet altogether. And you will notice that it is some other information, okay? Things such as errors and how many orders got picked, okay? Also, stuff that is worthwhile knowing if you are a picking supervisor, but also if you're just looking at numbers. So here's what I'm going to have you do. You've got two spreadsheets now. You've got the one that you've created right here, and just recently you've added these two fields and you've merged across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns right here, this one field right here. So here's what you're going to do. You're now going to introduce this additional information and you're going to add it to this one, okay? Now, the easiest way to do that would be to simply highlight everything on this one and you can copy it, okay? Again, and if you want to undo something, you can hit the escape button, which is in the upper left-hand corner, or you can click out of it, however you want to do it. But I want you to highlight every single thing on this additional information dash pickers stat. And I want you to right-click and copy, okay? So we've highlighted everything, right-clicked, copied it, and then I want you to bounce over to your picker productivity sheet, okay? Now, I'd like you to go over here to column I, okay? And I would like for you to click into I2, I2. Okay, I've done that, and now I'm going to right-click, and then I am going to paste. Bang. And lo and behold, here is all of the information that I had from this sheet right here, but I have now copied it into this one right here. Now, there's a couple things that you might want to do and that I'm going to ask you to do. I want you to be able to format this information the way it looks in these column headings, and I want to make it look exactly like this over here, okay? So here's what I'm going to do, okay? I like how this right here is all bold. I like that. I liked how I formatted these up here to wrap. So what I'm going to do, now this one right here didn't have any sort of wrapping. I forget if we formatted this to wrap or not, but regardless, I know for a fact that this one is wrapping because you can see that it has wrapped down hours and then it goes down to work. So I'm going to click into B2, okay? And then this is awesome, guys, okay? Up here is a roller. Okay, I guess you can picture it like a paint roller if you were a painter. I know I did some rolling of paint this past week, and I'm going to click on the paint format. Click it. Okay, and you get kind of some funkiness going on around here. You get a dashed line, and then I am going to paint what is going on in this formatting in B2, and I'm going to paint it on top of I2, J2, and K2. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to hold down on the right. I'm going to click and then hold down on the right key, or pardon me, the left key, left key, and then I'm going to drag it across the top. Look at that. Okay. Now, it's formatted as such. Now, these two don't need to actually wrap in any way, shape, or form, okay? But just the same, I'm going to kind of shrink this down because the more that you can get things in a compact size, the better, okay? So I've highlighted columns J and column K, okay? Column K, column J, okay? And then I am going to shrink them down by going to the border in between J and K, or I could go over here, or I could go over, I guess I could go here or here, okay? But I'm going to shrink it down. And I'm going to put it down to about yay big right here. And lo and behold, take a look. All of a sudden, we now have our columns the same width. We've got that wrapping effect going on right here. and it looks just like this stuff over here, okay? So this looks like this, format-wise, all is well, okay? Now, just to make things a little bit cleaner, to make it look exactly like this, I'm gonna highlight these two right here. I'm gonna highlight them, and then, just like I did over here, I'm going to click the alignment, or I'm gonna center it, okay, for the horizontal. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm gonna hit center, and lo and behold, boom, all of them are right here, okay? Now, I've got differing types of things right here, different information that I see here. Now I've got the same pickers, the exact same people. They're all lined up nice and pretty right here, okay? But first thing I want to do is I want to start analyzing how many total errors that we made. Now, hopefully some of you at this point are saying, hey, wait a second, Skeen's got this function button up here, and that's exactly what you should be thinking. Now, if you don't want to use the formula button, you can just as easily, if you remember, you can type in equal, and then look at this. I mean, it's helping. I mean, Google Sheets is so darn smart. It kind of gets a feeling based on what you did over here that maybe you want to do the same thing over here. And guess what? You do. So you can click on it that way, or you could actually type in equal sum and then parentheses and then drag down from here to there. You could do that. Or if you're lazy like me, you can just click like so. Boom. And then hit enter. And lo and behold, if I click into this one and then double click real quickly in the center, it shows me what my formula is. Equals sum J3 to J14. Now, I want to do the exact same thing, but I don't want to do any of that business. I want to click sum, okay, and do it another way. And I'm going to then right click and hold down and then drag down. Boom. Okay, hit enter. Okay, and again, if I click into cell K15, double click it real quick, it shows me my formula. Okay, so this is all good information that you'd want to know. How many errors did my people make? How many orders did my people pick? Okay, it might be different things. I mean, if you're working in an office setting, you can say how many pages did my people type? How many reports did my people run? I mean, whatever it is, it doesn't matter the type of setting, a spreadsheet can be very helpful to figure out productivity. So all of a sudden, we're going to do some things with this information right here. Now, we're going to go to this column right here, okay? Now, a couple of things that we're going to take a look at here. Now, the first thing I'm interested in, I'm probably going to be interested in how many errors did I have for every single order picked. That'd probably be a good thing to know, okay? I mean, Jaden picked 37 orders and he made 5 mistakes. Ew, that's not so hot, okay? So let's take a look. Let's create a new column here, okay? And I'm gonna have you type in, let's see, I guess we could type in errors slash order or errors per order, okay? Again, now it fits as such, okay? The column is wide. So here's what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to have you try to figure out how many errors per order it is, okay? But before we can do that, I want to make it nice and pretty. So I'm going to click into this field right here. If you remember, we've got our roller over here. I'm going to click, I'm going to be in K2, okay? And then I'm going to click the paint and I'm going to click this, boom. Okay, it's now going to wrap. It's nicely bolded. And if I do something as such like that, it's going to say errors per order. Okay, so let's take a look here. I'm going to pause this real quickly. Okay, so got done with my got done there with my phone call. So essentially, here we are. We're trying to now figure out how many errors per order. Errors per order. Okay. Now, if we click down to the box L3 for Jaden, okay, if we do that, what would we do to figure out the errors per hour, or pardon me, the errors per order? Okay. So basically, we're trying to figure out what percentage 5 out of 37 would be. Okay. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to hit the equal sign, and then we are going to take 5 divided by 37. Now, I didn't type in those numbers. I was clicking on individual cells, and that's what gives me this formula right here. Now, I'm going to hit enter. Okay. Now, you've got a number here. Okay. A lot of times I will tell you that this sort of things, I mean, especially when you're talking about accuracy, a lot of times they talk about that in terms of percentages. But guess what? Guess what? Good old Google Sheets has a way to convert this number right here to a percentage. And I want you to watch what I'm about to do. Okay. I'm going to still remain clicked into this field right here. And if you take a look up here, here's my formula for that field. I'm going to stay clicked in here, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go up here right underneath the word format, and I'm going to notice that it says format as a percent, and I'm going to click on it. And look at that. So it basically right now is telling me that 13.51% of my orders here have errors in them. 13.5%, 13.51%. If you want to get rid of a decimal place, you can bring it down 1. Okay, so now it's 13.5%. I basically now am going to want to figure out what is the rest of that for everyone else. So I'm going to go to my little fill knob or handle right here, and then all of a sudden see how it makes the cross, and I'm going to drag it down, and lo and behold, look at that. Okay, I can then format it so it's centered, nice and pretty. Okay, so we take a look at this. I mean, we've got a number of things that kind of jump out. I mean, almost 30% of Rex's orders are wrong. They've got an error in them. Okay, if we take a look here, oh my gosh, Shayna, she did 105 orders and didn't have a single mistake. She's a rock star. Okay, we've got some smaller ones here. We've got another big one. Again, this is simply telling you what some of these things are in terms of what people are doing. Okay, if you're the supervisor or the team leader and is responsible for what Jade and Mike, Rex, Shayna, and everyone else is doing, you'd probably like to know, how accurate are these people? Okay, as a percentage of the overall number of orders that are being picked. Okay. So we're going to stop right here, and I will say that we are done. But what I would like you to do is to have a spreadsheet that is turned in that looks exactly like this, but now has this stuff in it. So you are going to turn into me stuff that has this, all of this information now in it. Okay, so your spreadsheet should look just like this. It should look just like this. And when you do, I'm going to give you credit for it. Okie dokie. So that's all I will say. And I wish you all a very good day.